Thanks for coming, everyone. So this story is about how community and storytelling helped me through the beginnings. There's always been one question I've always hated getting asked. Where do you live? Whenever I heard these words, I get so anxious. You know that feeling when your palms get all sweaty, your heart starts beating really fast, and you feel like your face is starting to get red? Just like that. Ever since I was in the 3rd grade, I had to lie about where I lived. 411 South 5th Street, San Jose, California. That was the address I had to memorize at a young age and tell others when asked. When my mom immigrated to America from Mexico, she wanted my siblings and I to have a chance at a new beginning. One of the ways she tried doing this was having us attend public schools outside of the district where we lived. We borrowed someone else's address and had to keep where we lived a secret. My mom was worried if other people knew, we'd lose this chance of attending better schools, and that's something she wasn't willing to risk. This was tough for me to do. I remember in the 3rd grade, my teacher asked where I lived, and I just panicked and said I forgot. He, along with the rest of the class, laughed at me. My friends would ask to come over, but I would always have to find an excuse for why they couldn't. One of my best friends to this day, who I met in kindergarten, never came until my senior year of high school. Boy, was that an event when she did. But more than anything, I wanted to live a normal life where I could have sleepovers and invite friends over, but that was just something I was never able to do. I grew up in Southeast San Jose, an area that's described as gang-affiliated and predominantly Hispanic and Vietnamese. Because I had a lie of where I lived, I soon came to equate being low income and Hispanic as being bad. I held this shame in my identity all the way through high school and tried as best as I could to hide these parts of myself to feel like I better fit in with my friends. When I was in middle school, my mom forced me, just as any mom would, to join this program called Breakthrough. It was a college access program for people like me, so first-generation, low-income students who wanted to go to college. I was furious when my mom told me I was going to attend school during the summer for 2 whole years, especially since none of my friends were doing it. And yet, to this day, I still remember my Breakthrough summers as if they were yesterday. I was really shy back then, but the teachers and staff members made learning and being silly fun and cool. I quickly fell in love with the program, and after the first 2 summers, I was more confident and comfortable in my own skin. I was doing things that I never would have done before, so putting myself in scary situations like giving a speech, performing in plays, and even playing a duet with one of my teachers. It was also during those Breakthrough summers that I made a goal. I was committed to go to college, and not just any, but I wanted to go to the best college I could get into. And when I told my Breakthrough teachers that, I got nothing but positive encouragement. They told me they believed in me and that I could do it. Breakthrough was the first to teach me how powerful having a community could be. And so, with this new goal in mind, I entered high school more motivated than ever. Mind you, I still had deep feelings of shame of my identity, but I didn't want that to stop me from pursuing this new goal. And so with the support of Breakthrough, friends, and family, I was able to call Stanford my home for the next 4 years and begin this new chapter in my life. I always tell people Stanford was some of the best and worst times in my life. Though the older I get, the more fuzzy things become. I do remember, however, post-high school, I was riding this high of getting in after working so hard. I was so confident that I belonged there and was going to crush it. That feeling didn't even last a week. Never have I ever failed so many quizzes in such a short time span. It seemed so easy for many of my classmates while I was trying to do as much as I could. I went to tutoring, office hours, study groups, you name it. But I still had a hard time with all the material. I just didn't feel like I belonged. And at one point, I got angry at Stanford. I thought I wasn't adequately prepared to handle all the rigor of the classes, and that they only accepted me just to say that they were diverse. During this time, I was also still searching for my community. I wanted something similar to what I had at Breakthrough. Freshman year, I joined a multicultural sorority, one of the best decisions I've made to this day. There, I met a group of diverse women many of whom came from similar backgrounds as me. Hearing their stories, I was able to learn about the incredible challenges they overcame. And there was one common thread with each of their stories. They wholeheartedly embraced their life experiences and how these experiences cultivated who they were. Their stories taught me how to recognize the beauty and strength of my journey, and with that, the power of being a first-generation woman of color. With this newfound confidence, I again found myself doing things I didn't think I was capable of. I became president of my sorority, I even got A's one quarter, and received an award of excellence from Stanford. Most importantly, I completed the goal I had set out for myself in 8th grade. I became the first in my family to graduate from college, graduating from Stanford with a bachelor's degree in human biology. So embracing the stories of others became a really powerful tool in changing my perspective of who I am and the strengths my experiences carry. I am now proud of all the identities and of my journey to getting here. Seeing the positive changes that come from sharing motivates me to continue to practice this and to help others like me. With that in mind, post-Stanford, I came back home to San Jose and to Breakthrough, but this time around as a staff member. I spent the past 4 years working at Breakthrough, supporting students just like me on their path to college. At Stanford, I always wondered where I belonged. I felt like I was a part of two different worlds. When I was home, I was this first-generation, low-income Hispanic woman. But while at Stanford, I was a student of an elite institution. And I never knew where I felt like I belonged, since these two identities were so polar from each other. I've come to realize I've seen more of myself as a bridge between these two worlds. And I want to be able to leverage both. The opportunities Stanford has given me and the perspective of being a minority to fuel the change I hope to see in my community. As much as I love my time at Breakthrough, I've seen how much change has happened in my home, San Jose, and how difficult it can be for first-generation people of color to enter particular industries post-college. That's why I ultimately left Breakthrough. I want to use my unique position of being a bridge and go back home, but transition into the tech industry. I hope to make these spaces more inclusive and diverse and give others in my community a seat at the table. And so, now as I start this MBA program and begin this new chapter in life, I'm reminded a lot of my freshman year at Stanford. Academics are still hard since I've never taken a business class before, and I'm still developing my community. I've already had a lot of moments where I felt imposter syndrome. But this time around, I'm more confident in who I am and the value that I bring. And I'm excited to share that and continue to learn from all of you over the next 2 years at Wharton. Thank you.